So what are we doing?
You're doing the old-timey WWE, like, the chair thing.
Oh, I
don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm thinking about making some carnitas tomorrow and congratulating myself on how not racist I am.
See, that's where I figured this was going to start, not my terrible blue sky posts. But yeah,
anyone eating salsa is woke. Sorry,
True.
pejorative woke.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cilantro.
That was a weird day.
You know, everybody gets a couple of crash outs on social media. It's fine.
If you have no idea what we're talking about,
Again, good.
Well, good. Yeah, a standard disclaimer there. A fellow of the persuasion, who actually the four of us all like and think is quite a smart guy, and he is. He's a smart guy. He's written a couple of good books. He's quite well informed on a variety of things in the financial industry. He's quite amiable and, interesting dude. Decided to call Mexican cuisine just all right, which regular listeners to this podcast will know does not sit well with your boy. That would have been bad enough. But the take then doubled down into, Americans only say they like Mexican food because they want to burnish their not racist credit.
For the record, I like Mexican food because it's fucking delicious.
That's right.
I go down to Mexico City twice a year for business, and the last time I was down there, we were at lunch. Lunches in Mexico City start at 2 p.m. and go until 5 if you're lucky, and
until you're done.
6. Yeah, until you are good and done. And you're talking to clients, you're messing around, and I made the point to say, look, Mexican cuisine is the best cuisine in the world, and the reason for this is not that it is the most refined or the most storied or most historic, whatever. I mean, that's not why. It's because it is the most varied cuisine in the world. You get every kind of meat, every kind of seafood, every kind of acid, every kind of heat, every kind of rich and umami, and it is every texture you can imagine. Mexico is so unique in how many different biomes it has, and the mix of it was ground zero for the Colombian exchange. There's just so much going on in Mexican cuisine, from Ho cuisine to the most street level food you can imagine. And I tell Mexican clients this all the time. I love y'all's food. I love it. But apparently it's just because I'm woke. So that's good to know.
We knew that.
In all fairness, he has had to listen to
Hey folks, Ed here in the editing bay. I'm just going to level with you because you, our fine audience, deserves honesty. There are too many instances of the word British in the next section of this podcast for me to come up with funny drops for each of them, because I have been asked, some might say instructed, some might say bullied, into not using the standard worldwide 1 kilohertz censor beep. As such, I'm afraid that the next section is going to be full of British. You'll just have to survive. We apologize for the inconvenience.
People rip on British food all the time.
And by people, we mean low tax.
No, we mean George, actually.
Well, both of us.
See, I'm innocent here. I will rip on our special relationship friends across the pond for many other things, but I think their food's fine.
Their food's fine.
It's not as bad as we give them a hard time about.
No. And the French definitely shouldn't be holding themselves up as so much better than that, because French food is just British food that some idiot dumped a bottle of wine into.
You forgot the butter.
And yes, and a mountain of butter.
And they stole a bunch of stuff from the Italians too. I mean, you got to throw that in there. But yes.
We'll come back to the wine. I've always maybe this is a just so story, but I've always been partial to it as an explanation for British food, which is that you had lots of sort of indigenous cuisine of Britain pre-empire that basically all got died out or refactored because they burned down every tree on the goddamn island during the Industrial Revolution. So like all of a sudden you no longer had these wood roasted dishes like this, like that's how they cooked things. And then all of a sudden they didn't have any more frickin' wood because they used it all to build the British Empire. So you're cooking over gas instead, you're cooking over coals, and the recipes just don't frickin' work. You can't do a slow roast.
And then Maggie shut the coal mines down. And
then Maggie shut the coal mines down.
They were up a fucking creek.
Yeah. So, like certain other empires that may be on their last legs, their cuisine now is primarily driven by former and in some cases still current members of the larger empire.
Weird that you talk about Canada like that.
Immigrants to the metropole.
I mean, well, the other thing too is a lot of what we think of as national cuisines, and this is true of Italy, of France, of wide swaths of Europe, right, did not exist prior to the Second World War.
Right.
And British standards of living in the 1950s, which was sort of like the formative period for a lot of national cuisines,
not great.
They had dropped. There was an issue there. So like, post-war scarcity, I think, is also a thing with British food. Again, British food is fine. Like it's not actually as bad, but ripping on British food is really fun because you get reactions like we saw today that lead you to takes like, actually Mexican food is bad. The only reason to like it is woke, and you can't pair a single wine with any of it, which would be news to the vast array of Mexican wine producers who are producing domestic wine, to say nothing of various different varietals from France and Spain that go great with Mexican food. So, ooh, buddy, I mean, this is why we post, people. This is why we do it, to bring you this kind of content.
I just love that he polarized himself so much that he wanted to go after Mexican food because Yanks like it. And then he got like a FAFO thing of, if you come at Mexican food, every citizen of the United States is going to come at you. Like even the most rancid MAGA chud will go at you if you go after Mexican food.
Right, because they're woke.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like attacking a curry in the UK or attacking a kebab in Germany. Like, that's not necessarily the indigenous cuisine, but it kind of is now. Like, it's very much part and parcel.
Mexican food is not American food. Like, I would never claim Mexican cuisine. You can eat fantastic, phenomenal Mexican cuisine almost anywhere in the United States. It's very accessible. Like, you might have to go down a dirt road you didn't know was there, but it's there. Like, trust me, it's there.
Right.
And sometimes it's higher end. There isn't as much high-end Mexican food in the United States. It exists, especially in cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York. Where I live, there's no high-end Mexican cuisine to speak of. We have a high-end Peruvian place, but not high-end Mexican food. And that's fine. But none of it is American food. Americans eat it. But I would never claim it as American food in the same way I would claim Creole, barbecue. I mean, Pacific Northwest, like, there's so much stuff out there that is definitively American. Mexican is not, but Americans love it because it's good. Like, nobody in their right mind is going to look at the panoply of flavors and colors and textures and aromas that come at you out of Mexico and go, yeah, that sucks. That's just all right. I mean, there's nothing there. Too much chili, too much acid.
There's some de facto versus de jure here, though, because, like, you say that it's not ours, but the Katamari ball has rolled that completely up into the United States, right? Like, but yeah, possession is 9/10 of the law.
And I mean, we still fully possess it. There's also some historical quibbles about Mexican food that comes from regions that were Mexico at one point and that now are Texas. But like,
and I'm happy
George
to
is
give
right
them back. I'm happy to give those back.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd really appreciate it if we could give them back.
Why? We have been mean enough to Mexico. Why would you wish that on them.
It actually would solve a lot of our trade issue problems. But anyhow, Proctor, you were saying.
George is right. The Mexico food is ubiquitous within the United States in some way. That it's near you wherever you are. That this is, with all due respect to Canada, our most important border in a lot of ways, and has been for a long time, and that it's been permeable for most of its existence.
And now you're on Mark Carney's shit list. Thanks.
Mark Carney.
Like some of it also maybe is that the cultural transfers are more obvious because Mexico is more differentiated from the United States than the United States is from Canada.
Yeah, I know.
Do not get us in trouble with the elders of Galway, Proctor.
Also, let's just, to our Canadian listeners, including Sharon, we know you're out there. Sorry, he's right.
Wow.
We speak the same language, not that many Catholics in Canada, except for Quebec, but they don't count. Anyhow, whatever.
Yeah. I did think that there was one interesting area that Dan kind of gestured towards, and then the entire thread dissolved under a torrent of rage, which was that I think he's gesturing in the direction of an argument that I believe is correct, which is that cuisines co-evolve with beverages that they're consumed with. That you see movement towards, in wine regions, you see movement towards food that tastes good with wine. In regions that drink a lot of beer, you see movement towards food that tastes good with beer. In regions that drink neither, you see movement towards food that tastes good with something else, whether it's, lightly juiced water, or whether it's tea, or whether
it's... Is there any food that doesn't go well with either beer or wine?
So we're getting out of my wheelhouse here, but there was some talk about how some Muslim countries, where alcohol is obviously not a big part of the picture, their heat tends towards the complicated spicy rather than the take your face off spicy. And there might be something to that there are sort of flavor subtleties that you seek out in terms of aromatics that maybe show up more in places where you're not drinking alcohol with your meal, which is a minority of kind of high dining.
And then there's German food, which is just bad on both sides.
I mean, look, how dare you criticize having a salad with mayonnaise thicker than your arm on it?
I mean, but I mean, what you just described to me is a dish that I think goes really well with a light beer, right? And I will also say, the take your face off spice, that's not most Mexican food. It's out there. True. For sure, but again, it's an incredibly diverse cuisine, so there is tons of Mexican food that is spicy, but absolutely not take your face off spicy, right?
Yeah, and maybe there's something to that. And I mean, North African food is take your face off spicy, and there's a lot of Muslims there. So I don't know. Maybe I'm off base on the entire.
We've all, the four of us combined, have eaten a lot of things in our time, and I'm just really struggling to come up. I was thinking maybe something from the Indian subcontinent, but then a curry again is really good with kingfisher. That goes well together. And maybe not every single curry, but also Beaujolais pairs really, really well with Indian food, right? Sushi, excellent with champagne. That is how you really should drink if you're eating sushi. Phenomenal. It's got to be the right champagne, but incredible. That was another one that jumped out to me as a relatively not beer and wine oriented cuisine. There is really good Japanese beer. Asahi Super Dry is one of my favorite beers to drink when I once a week have a beer these days, but still, I mean, there's just not a lot, the cuisine wasn't oriented around beer when it emerged. I'm struggling to come up with something that is better with a non-alcoholic third beverage than either beer or wine, or that doesn't work at all with beer or wine and does with a third. So listeners, sound off in the comments, I guess.
Burgers, maybe like a bean paste kind of thing. Burger fries at a beer works fine, although milkshake is a third option.
I prefer a milkshake or a Coke with burgers and fries.
I am not 12 years old, so I don't drink milkshakes, but
you eat apple pie, you are 12.
George.
Everyone's 12, George.
Bean paste, yeah. I mean, I'd have to think about it, but I could see that pairing well with a bunch of different wines. Like, maybe not as like an obvious first choice, but I could see it working.
I mean, it mostly depends how much sugar is in it.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, we don't
I don't know why I'm saying anything. I don't drink beer and I don't drink wine, but...
So what pairs with Monster anyway?
Doritos and shame.
As long as we're talking about food, I tried out the Parmesan garlic Doritos this weekend. They're pretty good.
Ooh.
Yeah,
the World Cup chips, the garlic sauce chips, the Brazilian themed Lays are
those look
phenomenal. Good. They're really good. The Argentine chimichurri steak are not that
so much
great.
Okay.
Yeah. French onion Lays, whatever. Sour cream and onion with a little bit of razzle dazzle. But the garlic sauce Lays for Brazil are excellent. So.
All right.
Maybe those would go with a Monster. I could see that working.
I mean, I haven't really tried. Especially like with the GLP-1s, breakfast is mostly like liquid these days, and then, caffeine shows up later.
Right. Mostly Monster. Yes, we understand.
No, protein shakes. And then Monster when realizing, I slept 5 hours again last night.
Do they make like proteinated Monster? Is that a thing?
That would be amazing.
That feels inevitable.
That feels like something designed to make me gag.
Please don't encourage it. Stop with this protein stuff.
I mean, that's kind of like the yogurt Monster mix, right? Like that's.
I mean, they make protein sodas.
Yeah, no, I've had the protein sodas. They're okay. It feels weird, but they don't taste weird. They just feel weird.
Yeah, it's
what I'm really surprised they haven't started doing yet is because I mean, like, you have like those fiber gummies. You could probably liquefy that. You could probably get that into a stable liquid form. And then just fiber up your sodas.
Like Olipop has like 9 grams of soda in it per can.
So 9 grams of soda per can.
Sorry. 9 grams. Yeah. 9 grams of fiber. Yeah. No, like there are absolutely high fiber sodas. That is a thing. That is a thing that American ingenuity has already solved for. And
just remember, folks, if you're eating a probiotic but not eating fiber, you are wasting any money you spend on the probiotic. So the probiotics need the fiber to feed. That's the whole thing. You have them both. So
yeah, feed your microfauna.
This is Normal Men, a podcast from 4 men who are clinging desperately to normalcy in an era when that's asking a bit too much. I'm George in Charlotte.
In DC, I'm Proctor Malone.
In outer Florida, I'm low-tax speedrun enjoyer.
And I'm Ed in Boston.
Yeah. Okay, good. Cuisine chat, all done. Good work, everybody.
So I'm recording from Washington, D.C., where the weather sucks. And we are happy about that for a change, because it means that the president's birthday party is being at minimum delayed and, fingers crossed, ruined.
It's 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, June 14th. Proctor, you don't have to literally stick your hand out the window, but how are we looking down there right now?
I think it's going to get nasty. We'll see how it goes. It was a pleasant enough day to be outside. It was hot and muggy, but not like exceptionally so. Friday was
Musicology Duck got some really great photos of the reflecting pool being turned into Gowanus Canal.
It looks so bad. And it's like not even because they painted it blue. It's like green and black. Like, what is growing in there?
Yeah, we'll have to link those in the show notes, but it's pretty grody.
Year and a half on the job, and he's already turned the reflecting pool into a Superfund site.
But yeah, we've been getting like thunderstorm warnings and tornado and hail warnings today. So it's feeling pretty biblical here in the District of Columbia. And they've, I guess, already delayed the start time on the UFC fight by an hour, meaning that it starts at 10:30. We'll see if it actually happens.
They're just going to have 2 guys holding umbrellas over them the entire time.
Right now I'm looking at the radar, and you look clear for a couple hours here, but there is a big old wall of thunderstorms that stretches from, Ottawa? Maybe Trois-Rivières, all the way down to Knoxville. So...
maybe no breakup coming. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Fucking Canadian names.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the pictures of the setup for the for America's 250 UFC edition. It's this like tall metal cage right outside of the White House or Lincoln Memorial. Where is it?
No,
Anyway.
South Lawn.
South Lawn. Okay.
Yeah, South Lawn of the White House.
So
To be clear, we do want to put someone in a cage on the South Lawn of the White House. Just
Yes, we
not
do.
like this.
So if I were a fighter, I would not want to go fight in a giant metal in a tall giant metal cage outside in a thunderstorm.
Do you think they understand what that implies?
Yeah, I was going to say UFC fighters known for their very, very good understanding of risk to life and limb. So I think, yeah.
At this point, you've probably seen the pictures of the dirt bikers jumping outside of the White House. If you haven't,
Don't.
they're memorable. It feels gross. It's spectacle. It's not even July 4th. It's the president's fucking birthday.
It's white trash shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty trashy.
It's as
Bad.
trashy as it gets.
Yeah.
This whole phenomenon, this whole thing is a giant, we are doing this to show that we can do it and force you to watch it. And that's all it is. It's all a dominance politics thing. The president doesn't want to watch a UFC fight. He doesn't watch UFC. Like, what are we talking about here? He doesn't care about motorcycles.
He watches stuff at the theater whose name has been restored to its rightful state. Right? Like, he's a theater guy.
Yeah, he's a musicals guy.
He has never given a shit about dirt bikes in his life.
Yep.
He might break a nail.
He really missed his calling. If we could have just made him a columnist doing page 6 for the New York Post and maybe doing like Broadway reviews, that kind of thing, because Trump is very Queenie. He would have been like, if his dad had just let him grow up to be the Queenie little boy he was always meant to be, the whole world would be such a better place.
Yep. Fred Trump, one of his many crimes. Anyhow,
Yep.
the root of the word subjugate is subjugum in Latin. Subjugum matere was the ritual that the Romans, actually it wasn't just the Romans, it was a bunch of the Italic peoples in Latifundia and in Central Italian Peninsula. They would all go to war with each other, and they would do this thing at the end where you don't literally kill everyone after you conquer them. You pass them under the yoke in a symbolic ceremony where you literally get paraded 2 by 2. The military aged men of the people that have just been conquered get paraded under not even a literal yoke, like as in the thing that goes on oxen, but like a 3-piece thing made out of sticks, right? To symbolize like we are putting you under the yoke. And that is literally all this is. It's the 21st century equivalent of what these lunatics were doing in the Apennines and areas around roughly 2,500 years ago, 3,000 years ago, whatever. It's a tale as old as time. And, until we put these people under the yoke, they're going to keep doing this. So figure out how we should be doing that.
They do this UFC thing, and they're talking about manliness constantly now, with what's his name, Tallarico in Texas and all of this. And yet the White House is out here posting like anime GIFs and videos. Like these guys are just the most childish 4chan brained losers I can imagine.
For the record, the person talking smack about anime was a low-tax speedrun enjoyer. That's
He was,
low-tax
but he was
speedrun
also
enjoyer.
correct.
That's right.
That was Ed. Ed was just agreeing with him.
No, they're already very mad at me because I said something that was mildly hostile about giant robot anime the other day, and I'm still getting messages about that.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, it was. I should not
That's
have
how they get
tangled
ya.
with them because the whipped up clouds of Dorito dust have not yet stopped oranging my house.
Feels like slander against Dorito enjoyers like myself.
You're going to be like that guy who wrote the column about Tool at Something Awful. It still has people 15 years later going after him.
So good.
I've made mistakes. What can I say?
It kind of speaks to the people they have running the social media operations at the White House now. Like,
Yes, the fact that they're all like 18-year-old irony poisoned freaks. Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you mentioned 4chan, and that's straight up what it is. It's 4chan recruitment. That's how you get a job in Republican social media circles right now. Is you either are a guy or you know a guy.
Make sure that you are in the vice president's signal chats.
Mm-hmm.
There was a post today from the Rapid Response, I think White House Rapid Response account, getting mad at the Weather Channel for posting a forecast for DC this afternoon.
Yeah, they called it clickbait.
It was just a forecast for thunderstorms. The Weather Channel.
I mean, the Weather Channel is woke too.
Apparently. Which is more woke, enjoying Mexican food or knowing whether it's going to rain this afternoon?
Well, I mean, they haven't completely destroyed the NOAA yet.
Oh, they're trying, brother.
I know.
Yes. They're putting in a shift, so I don't know. They cannot take the tacos from us, so I'm secure in that knowledge. They're trying, but that's destroying weather forecasting is much easier than taking away our tacos.
The taco truck on the nearby street corner still is there. They have not yet succeeded.
Yep. And may it be joined by another one on every single street corner in America.
They promised. I'm still waiting.
Wow.
So
we'll get there one day.
It was a pretty good week for New York City. The Knicks won their first championship in my lifetime. Is that right?
The
52
Knicks.
years, I think.
I think
My lifetime and change. Last night, they were not favored in the series, and in fact, were down by double digits in every one of the 4 games that they won.
3 of the 5 largest comebacks in NBA Finals history. So this is up to 7 games per year. It doesn't always go to 7. Obviously, this year it only went to 5. It's best of 7 series, but this is going back decades. 3 of the 5 biggest comebacks, i.e. the team that was down by the most and ended up winning the game, came in this series alone. And it was all 3 times the Knicks. That is crazy work.
Yeah. Somebody posted yesterday asking if a team had ever won the NBA Finals by winning the same game 4 times. Because that's every time. It was, the Spurs would go up 20 points or whatever by the third quarter, and then the Knicks would come back. Except for the one night when our big wet boy was there.
There was game 2 where the Knicks were up huge, and then the Spurs almost came back and failed at the end. But yeah, it was a ridiculous series. It was very good basketball. It was compelling to watch.
I mean, you can call that good. I wouldn't. I would have called it entertaining basketball.
I didn't watch a single minute of it, but my question is how is Wemby a thing? How does that human being exist?
So you've heard of infinite monkeys with infinite typewriters. Now apply that to genomics.
Okay, so then why isn't he 8 feet tall and 150 pounds as opposed to 7 foot, 5?
We have not got that pull out of the infinite gotcha machine of the universe yet.
We will.
He's 7'4", but with an 8-foot wingspan.
Right.
So,
and again, he weighs 150 pounds, right?
He looks super skinny.
He looks like I could break his arm in 4 places just by looking at him a little bit. I know he's not actually that.
He's 250 pounds.
He looks like the orphan of Kos from Bloodborne.
Is that a video game reference?
That is a video game reference, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Way over my head then.
Because bear in mind, Kevin Garnett was quote 6'11", unquote, and was 240, right?
Yeah.
And by 6'11", we really mean 6'13".
Right, but Kevin Garnett, he had muscle definition. He looked strong. If you looked at Kevin Garnett,
when he was younger, he did not.
Yeah, no, he looked like a skinny boy when he was a younger player.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Kevin Garnett from the mid 2000s, which was the last time I was an NBA fan. And at that point, when he was playing for the Timberwolves and he was pulling down double doubles every single night, just a freak. Well, that was a little bit later. But I mean, the dude, but you know, and I'm not saying Wemby isn't a crazy professional athlete with enormous skills and a lot of strength. I'm just saying how he looks. It's really funny because he looks like he's about to lose an arm.
I would really like to see him like try to guard 2001 Shaq.
Oh yeah,
it would hurt.
Yeah. He would.
But also, like Shaq would have to catch him on the other end.
I mean, Wemby's still so young. It's like it's going to be interesting to see how he felt. Like apparently, like he's still putting on height. Like at least he did between last season 22. And this season. Yeah. So like
that's crazy. I stopped growing in the 10th grade, so that's crazy to me.
Presumably, he's going to fill out some as he gets older, as most of us do, and it'll be interesting to see where.
I mean, he's put on 30 pounds already in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like he has already bulked up a lot.
Right.
He's getting them churros down in San Antonio.
I have a feeling they have like snipers with orders to shoot if he goes near a churro. That man is like on an all protein diet.
We'll get him around big old women.
Anyway, congrats to the Knicks. Congrats to New York City. Hopefully all of you guys are recovered from your hangovers by tomorrow.
I literally can't congratulate New York on anything sporting related. It's the law. It's state law. But one thing that is true is that like this does break a historical tendency. And I noticed it this year. And I was like, oh no, that bodes evil. But like when I was younger and involved in certain mathematical pursuits related to sports, the best bet every year, the most solid lock was to bet as hard as you could, push the line as far as you could away from the Knicks on opening night. You would always win this because hope springs eternal. And then occasionally you get one.
This may, after the Cubs win in 2016, maybe this is the event that finally closes whatever portal to hell we opened that year.
In fairness, I'm sorry we opened that like 10 years earlier.
The big wet boys showing up and them losing the one game of the series that they lost is a pretty good portent that something, the vibes shifted.
Yeah.
I also want to say I can't stand New York sports fans. I when I was still working in the office, my bosses would play Mike Francesa every afternoon. This was after Mike and the Mad Dog went their separate ways. And I find New York sports fans subhuman would be kind. But I will say
the Mets fans are okay.
I was going to say
the New Jersey fans,
the Knicks, the Mets, and the Jets having a little bit of success as a treat is fine by me. Every other New York sports team, I hope they never win another game.
Wait, did you include the Jets in that list?
I did. They have been so hapless for so long. I just
they're not even in New York.
They have nothing, Ed. Nothing.
They're the New Jersey Jets.
But the Jets have been hapless for so long, but they also always bring in a repulsive, washed-up quarterback from Green Bay who everybody comes to despise. And so they sort of bring it on themselves. I wouldn't put them in the same category as the Knicks or the Mets.
They're not, but they're in the conversation, right? They're in that tier. Whereas Giants, Yankees, no, I don't want to hear about it. Rangers, nope. We're not up for that. I'm sorry.
See, and then there are the Islanders who exist.
I think there might be some hope. I think there might be some hope in what happened this week because I think that New York is actually a basketball city. They genuflect towards the Yankees. They care about the Giants in the way that they care about winners, but the soul is with basketball. And
with exactly one of their basketball teams.
Exactly one of their they do not care about the Nets.
In fairness, if I had to care about a team that went 20-62.
I mean, like, okay, so moving the Nets to NYC was a Hail Mary attempt to get quality basketball into New York City while James Dolan owned the Knicks. And
yeah, but like you could either trust the brain trust that there, or you could trust that eventually Adam Silver would by pure force of regulation cause the Knicks to be okay.
I mean, anyway, I'm glad they put together this scrappy crew of lovable losers and late round and late draft picks and did the thing, because optimistic that it will take some of the attention off of the more noxious New York franchises. You know, the Yankees are pretty good this year, but nobody thinks they're the best team in baseball. The Giants are going to be terrible. The Jets are going to be worse than terrible. I don't know what the Rangers are up to. Are the Rangers any good?
Yeah. I haven't followed the NHL.
Not compared to the Carolina Hurricanes. They're no good compared to the hockey team.
Is that series still going?
Yeah, 3-2 Carolina.
Okay.
I just don't know how to live in a universe where Mike Brown is a NBA Finals champion coach. I just don't know how to. I don't know how.
It was really nice too seeing the outpouring of enthusiasm and community spirit, and only a few burning vehicles in the celebrations. It was nice. I mean, like, you know, my Arsenal squad won the English Premier League this year, and it was a similar vibe where like they're one of the biggest teams in the biggest city, and it's the best league in the world for what, you know, like the English Premier League is like the NBA in the sense that it is the place that is the best soccer in the world, week in, week out. And in both instances, the Knicks winning and Arsenal winning, you saw this like incredibly diverse, incredibly bustling, incredibly vibrant city come together around this one thing and just take over everything and celebrate in the street and share joy. And it's just really nice to see that. Like, I'm, you know, like on top of the Knicks being terrible, you know, any city getting behind a team like that is going to be fun to watch. And a place like Boston that had so much success for so long across so many sports is just not going to celebrate the same way. And it was the same way with Manchester City. They were dominant in the EPL for a long time. And you just did not see the level of extreme happiness from a huge cross-section of society all at once, all out in public, that you did when Arsenal won. And it's the same way with the Knicks, right? Like, I
got a generation gap, George, a little bit here, because when the Red Sox won it,
you
absolutely did see that.
But that was before Tom Brady started collecting rings for every finger, and you had, I mean, like the success in 2004, that was very different.
The secret is that I think a lot of, like, genuinely, I am not just talking shit about football here. I kind of think people very quickly tuned out on that. Like, specifically Tom Brady, right? Because, like, things popped off a lot when the Red Sox won again. Like, 2013, I think? I forget the year. But, like...
Because Boston's a baseball town.
Yeah, basically. Like, everyone I know is just sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, the Patriots won again. Yawn. Boston is way more of a baseball town, hockey town. Even, I think the suburbs are more Patriots than anything, I think, around here. Like, I think Boston itself is much more the other three teams.
I don't think you saw celebrations and just, again, people gathered around TVs in the middle of the street. Like,
no, because there's nowhere to do that in Boston, because Boston is designed by frigging maniacs. Right? Like, we have the World Cup
it wasn't
here.
Designed at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fair. But, like, we have the World Cup here right now, and as you gentlemen saw, I took a picture of a bunch of drunk Scots standing on the Holocaust Memorial for lack of literally anywhere else near the most ill-reputed bar, like, stretch of bars in downtown. Right? Like, they were pushed off of the bars because there's just one walkway in front of all of the shitty bars, including the one where someone almost died. My lawyer has advised me not to finish that sentence. And then, like, you literally are pushed off onto the Holocaust Memorial. Boston is not built for this. There is nowhere to go. Whereas, like New York City, you have every corner. Those frigging bastards and their grid. I just want a city with a grid. Don't say a word, backpack. But
Me too, but very different reason for not having a grid. Yeah, no, but it just especially in an era where our politics are so dark, where the events that we talk about week in, week out are grotesque and horrifying and soul destroying. Seeing any community come together to celebrate something the way New York did to celebrate the Knicks is amazing and good for them. They should celebrate. It's great. I'm happy for them.
Not as funny as the Philly fans, though.
You're right. Much less entertaining than the people who are doing baths in dumpsters and throwing batteries at each other for fun.
Yeah, like at least New York is allowed to sell D-cells. Right? Like, come on.
They don't grease the phone poles in Manhattan, man.
It's nice to see some joy in the world, and hopefully the World Cup will provide some of that. Even if it's New York.
I think the World Cup has already absolutely been providing some joy in the world. Are y'all aware of this Freddie German guy?
The
video. He's
thing?
live posting his way on this trip across the entire country. He was driving from, I believe, Atlanta or Florida to Houston.
I think he landed in New York and then flew into Atlanta and rented a car there. And then he went up to Chattanooga and then down south through Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, I think.
Presumably he was, I've been following it via recaps on TikTok because I don't use X, but the website formerly known as Twitter. But he's posting stuff as he drives along or whatever on Twitter. And every single little town he drives through is a revelation, right? Going to Buc-ee's, watching the Knicks play, I think it was game 4. He went with his friends to some Chili's and had like literally the best time of his life at a Chili's watching the NBA Finals. I mean, it's just like there's so many people who have never experienced all the good this country has to offer, because if you're not inside the United States, you're probably going to only see or overwhelmingly see the bad that the United States has to offer, which there is plenty of that. But there are lots of people who are experiencing the good that this country has to offer. And this country offers a lot of good like any other country, right?
Yeah.
And it is really fun to watch. There's a lot of it going on.
I'm amazed you made it out of Auburn alive. I think they played a friendly there. What was it? Iceland and somebody?
I think it was Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina and Iceland or something.
Because the Auburn
was like,
radio
this is the
station
craziest.
This
is the craziest stadium I've ever seen in my life. And Auburn Stadium is big. It's not like insanely big.
80,000, I think, capacity.
Oh, only.
Yeah, something like that.
To be clear, that's insanely big. Like, we have insanely big stadiums in the United States. That's a thing we do.
but like Texas A&M Stadium is, I think, 110.
No, sure, they get even more insanely big. But just to be clear, 80,000 is insanely big.
Yeah.
The European mind cannot comprehend stuff. I mean, genuinely, because I think the biggest stadium in Europe is going to be the refurbished Camp Nou. I think it's about 80. I think the number is. Bayern Munich, I think, can do high 70s, and it drops off really fast after that. Like, there's not a ton of 70,000 plus seat stadiums, and here we have like 40 of them, 50 of them.
I mean, we've got like 40,000 seat stadiums for high school football in Texas.
We is doing some serious work there, Proctor.
So I used to live like a mile from Nottingham Forest Stadium, and I think that's only like 20,000. Maybe.
Yeah, Bournemouth is like 16,000.
That could fit inside TD Garden.
Yeah. Now, granted, you're talking about a sport that plays, Premier League schedule is 38 games a year. So filling 70,000 plus seat stadium for 19 home games would be that'd be tough in any sport, right? But still, right? Still, it's The thing that's different is that we just have so much land and so much wealth that we can build these stadiums that are used for, I don't know. I mean, our stadium downtown in Charlotte does concerts now. It does Charlotte FC matches and it does Panthers stuff. That's a pretty high utilization rate for an NFL stadium. Most NFL stadiums are doing maybe 20 events a year that really are proper capacity events. Yeah, that's you need to have some spare change hanging around to fund dozens
I mean, there's
of venues like that.
Well, because like you have the NFL, and maybe your city even has a college football team that rents the NFL stadium for their games. But other than that, it's going to be like concerts. And how many artists are filling up a stadium nowadays? Not very many. When you are, it's like 4 shows a year kind of thing, or maybe 10 if you're in a big market. I don't know. There are some stadiums that get higher utilization, but not in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
So it's an
Buffalo, New
excellent
York.
use of taxpayer money, is what you're telling me.
It's less that it's a good use of taxpayer money and really just a great example of how rich we are in this country. I mean, it's just like, are our priorities right? No. Not going to argue they are, but we got resources, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a bold stand that the Chicago Bears moving to Indiana, which they're apparently doing, is a good and just outcome, because Soldier Field is in a prime location, and I don't know if they're going to tear it down or anything, but like that is real estate that is not doing its highest and best use right now.
They should tear it down. Isn't it like a huge dump where the players get hurt every time they play on it?
Oh yeah, it's pretty awful, and it's also deeply uncomfortable. Like it gets all the lake wind, swirling wind currents. Terrible stadium to kick in. Terrible stadium to play football in. But hallowed in name and history. So anyway.
As a pro punts podcast, we have to take account the wind patterns.
We care deeply about the wind patterns. It's true.
Wait, are we a pro punts podcast?
Are
Yes.
we not?
I'm not pro punts.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm the guy who yells at the coach for punting from opponent territory.
I'm the guy screaming, joining the punt chant every time at college football games. You got to be a real sicko to appreciate a good punt.
It feels atavistic, right? Like it's part of the game of football that should no longer exist. That should have been streamlined out of the game of football at some point. But no, you've got this weirdly shaped ball that you're going to drop kick for some reason, and then you're just going to turn people loose to run at each other at full speed, and it's intensely violent, and everyone loves it.
Can y'all read that?
In this house, George is holding up a sticker right now that says, "In this house, we believe the Sun Belt is the fun belt. Play more bowl games. Never kick a sad field goal. Punting is winning. Great teams cover. Hawaii is the nightcap. Weeknights are for that's in very dark blue, I can't read it,
Mac.
for the Mac.
Yeah.
Run the triple. Let the band play neck. And all football is good football." That is a fantastic sticker.
Sickoscommittee.org.
All right.
Anyhow, Pro Punt Podcast.
I hate all of you.
We can talk about more soccer if you want. You want to go back to soccer, Ed? Because we got kind of sidetracked into the other football there.
Okay, so I don't like soccer, but I don't think that we should implode every stadium that holds it. So yes, that's probably that's probably better.
I don't see how anybody could not like soccer having watched Curacao equalize with Germany today. Now,
Well,
Curacao did lose 7-1 in the end, which is what you would expect. But the equalizer was a moment of glory that only the World Cup and the soccer associated with it can deliver.
I was going to say about stadiums, could you imagine showing like a medieval peasant Jerry World
No.
out in Arlington?
No.
I find Jerry World intimidating, and I'm a child of, the last century. So
Just for the record, Curacao has a population of 158,000 people, so 2 NFL stadiums. They could literally put the entire island into 2 NFL stadiums. Germany, a little bit bigger. So, yeah, level pegging there's phenomenal. Really good stuff. Or Japan equalizing late against the Netherlands, missing 2 of their best players. You know, they were going to be the dark horses, but then they lost 2 of their best players to injuries, and getting some revenge for all the skullduggery that the Netherlands got up to in the East Indies. There's a great TikTok where this guy who does he does like the ASEAN nations getting together and like talking about stuff, and he'll do the different perspectives. So it's the same guy, but he's like changing the angle of his face and what he's wearing and stuff to create a multi-character script. And it's going through, and it's different Southeast Asian countries trying to decide whether they're going to support the Netherlands or Japan in this game. And it ends with, I think it was the Philippines going, Asia for Asians? And everyone going, oh! And if you get that, you read enough history. And if you don't, you should read more.
A 48-team World Cup. How do we feel about that?
Great.
Into it.
I mean, other than for the players' hamstrings, but that's...
Seems fine.
Here's the thing. The World Cup is one of these events where, like, I don't think there's a plausibly large enough number. Like, having every single national soccer team in the world play in a giant tournament that took 2 months would be sick. Like, that would be amazing. We should do that. The problem is, high-level international soccer players are already playing something like 50 matches a year if they're fit, and that's crazy because high-level international soccer is not jogging a little bit, right? Like, it is extremely hard on your body. You are running extremely intensely. You are changing direction very fast. Kicking a soccer ball a lot at like high pace. Like, if you haven't kicked a soccer ball in a long time, go kick a soccer ball as hard as you can, like 10, 15 times, and you'll be like, oh, right? Like, this is stuff that the human body isn't really designed to do. And you see it, like, players that play a lot get injured more, and their careers are much less impressive than they otherwise would be because they have such huge demands put on them at very young ages. So this ever larger international soccer calendar, last year it was the Club World Cup. This year we've got the World Cup. We'll have the Euros in 2 years. Like, it, you know, this constant flow of summer stuff on top of club football, on top of tournaments like the FA Cup in the UK, the Champions League in Europe, which is all the best professional soccer teams from each country playing each other. Like, there is just an incredible load being put on these bodies, and it's unsustainable. Like, it's not good. Doesn't matter how good the sports science is, doesn't matter how well these players take care of themselves in terms of nutrition and training and all that stuff. And they do, and they have phenomenal care, and every movement is tracked, and, like, you know, the support staff are doing the best they can, but like, you can't continue to put these loads on these bodies. And so I like the 48 team format, but like, also it's just totally ridiculous that we're asking players to play as many games as they are.
Yeah, you build like a whole sport out of guys who had to play running back for Saban. And they were just completely spent by the time they got to the league.
Well, I mean, it sort of depends on the position, but yeah, I mean, that's sort of how to think about it.
That's what it's about. 8 miles of running a game. Is that a reasonable number?
Depends on the position, but it can be more than that. It can be north of 10. Yeah. And again, it's not 8 miles jogging. It's 8 miles like alternating between jogging and sprinting. It's just so much drain on these bodies. So, you know, I think it's great, but I don't know if it's sustainable. 48 team format, that is. Or soccer in general. Either way, really.
Professional sports in general. It seems like the pressure everywhere is for more games and more play, which from the fan side is really appealing, but from the player side, that takes a toll.
Is it appealing from the fan side though? Because like, I don't want more hockey. I don't want more basketball. There's already too many games, right? Like, and baseball, come on, 162 games plus
no, that's
playoffs.
insane. That's crazy,
right? Like, you need to be able to do other things after like 7 p.m. Especially because like, and then you get West Coast games, right? Like, the human body is not prepared to be watching games that start at 11 p.m.
I would say that I like more competitions. I like international play in baseball. I like it when basketball does international play. I like the 3v3 stuff.
I would like way more international play because small NBA courts are not fun. But yes.
So I think that those kinds of remixes of the teams and format, those are a lot of fun for the fan. The longer regular season, not so much. I agree with that. The basketball regular season is clearly too long. We do not need to play 82 games. And the response from the teams is that they basically don't play 82 games.
And then the front office gets mad and threatens them.
Yeah. So
because also a big part of it, and it's time to be a killjoy. Like a big part of the more games thing is the fucking gamblers.
I'm not actually sure that's the biggest driver.
No, but it does so
I mean, it doesn't help, but I don't.
Right,
this has been a thing for much longer than gambling's been widely legal.
It's all wrapped up in the same. It's all wrapped up in the same TV media, and now that stuff is all itself incredibly deep in the gambling stuff.
Well, and you've got more direct revenues from tickets. You've got more product to put on TV. Like whether it's the gambling money or whether it's stuff that is maybe one tier better ethically. There's a profit motive that's driving a lot of this, particularly in terms of long regular seasons. And
it's not it's going to the players' union, right?
Right.
Well,
right.
I mean,
the push for salary caps in every league is harder and harder every time.
Well, in baseball is going the other way, right? Like baseball is going to significantly increase a lot of payrolls as a result of the negotiated.
Sure, baseball is.
I mean, it's going to take the high-end payrolls down, but it's only going to impact like 3 or 4 teams, whereas the bottom half of the league essentially is going to have to spend a lot more on payroll. So,
yeah. Oh, okay. I was going to say,
although that is kind of more of like an owner fight, as I understand it.
Yes, it is.
Sure, but I'm just saying, like a lot of teams, there's going to be the average salary, I would wager, is going to go up, or sorry, the median salary is going to go up pretty dramatically. Yes, I think as a result of that, right? Because they're not all increasing the number of players.
NHL, NBA, there is a lot of downward pressure, and a lot of it, a reasonable person could ask what sort of conversations are happening.
Yeah, I mean, but in international soccer too, the problem is the other way, where there is no ability to manage labor costs, and labor is, because of promotion relegation, if you go down, your TV revenues drop so dramatically. This is most visible in the UK, but it's true everywhere, right? If you're in the Bundesliga or Liga or Serie A or any of the big European leagues, even the Eredivisie, that's Dutch professional football for those keeping track at home. They do only that now. Asset, fascinating. Yeah, a lot. What?
The only thing I know about European sports leagues is if you want to have a conversation about circa 2010 German club hockey, we can do that. But everything else you are saying is fascinating to me because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So because you have this thing that you could lose a huge amount of your revenue, and most teams don't, but every year it's going to be roughly 10% of a given league. It varies, but roughly 15%, I should say, sorry. You need to invest in assets that you can then sell if you suddenly hit a revenue cliff. And the only asset that you can invest in, I mean, not the only one, but really the only one that you can invest in that is then saleable and not tied to the fortunes or not tied to your team specifically, is players, right? So players, and there are other pressures at work here as well, but European soccer hilariously overspends on talent, and the addition of Saudi Arabia trying to build a real pro league, which they've failed at. They're pulling back from it now. It's not going to work, but they plowed billions, I think, in transfer fees into it. The outcome of this is that you get totally skewed wage bills relative to the commercial revenue of the team. It looks nothing like American sports in that respect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they face despite that fact, they face the exact same pressure to expand the schedule. I mean, it's worse, honestly, over there.
Right.
And it's driven by the same, I mean, you're trying to make money, right? Like, how do you make money? You do more revenue. How do you do more revenue? You provide more TV product, you to sell more tickets. It's that simple. And by the way, because you could get relegated, it's really hard to invest in more capacity for your stadium, right? If you're a squad like Bournemouth, which has had this great run and they're consistently in the Premier League now, but they have 15,000 seat stadium, if I recall correctly. It's a low 10,000 seat stadium. If they were to go out and borrow a bunch of money to build a new stadium, well, what if they get relegated 2 years into that process? Right? Like they're done. That's the end of the club, right? Because they've got this massive debt that they have to pay down. They're not going to be able to generate as much revenue as they did before. And they're not going to be able to sell as many seats as they would have before because they're in the lower division. It's just like, it's death spiral stuff. So, if any of this is interesting to you, check out the Double Pivot podcast. Mike Cayley and Mike Goodman do a really good job on that. But yeah,
I would know nothing about that. What if you had an 80,000 seat stadium and then all of a sudden your team fell off a cliff and couldn't get out of it because they owed the guy $60 million?
Did overinvesting in coaches maybe a factor there too?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting times for certain sports leagues because all of a sudden player compensation is floating now. So you're maybe seeing some of the same deal where it makes more sense to invest in the player side, and some of the places that have overinvested in the institutional side, particularly in bricks and mortar, which until recently was the main place that you could, by the rules, invest, are sitting there with a lot of exposure. Speaking as a WSU fan, that's not great. It's going to be real bad for Washington State University that we have what we thought was a fairly safe assumption of a Pac-12 Pac-12 revenue, and we built facilities to that budget. And to be fair, past that budget, we made some very stupid mistakes also that we now have to debt service on revenue that has no plausible path towards coming back.
Yeah. If you want to see what college football looks like in 10 years, just go ahead and take a look at what European soccer looks like. It's the exact same thing. It's going to be exactly like that because that's where all the incentives are aligning. And by the way, when European pro soccer players come over to the U.S.,
I was also going to say, not to mention Indiana just won the national championship. So you're going to have a bunch of average ass programs across the country who don't understand that they don't have Signetti as their coach, spend zillions of dollars on players just to do nothing.
Yep.
I mean, Indiana won because Mark Cuban bought him a championship, right? Like that's
no,
that's,
they didn't even spend that much
too.
Yeah. Indiana didn't even spend that much.
Well, they spent wisely and they spent early, but yeah, you're right that in terms of the straight totals, they were not the major outliers. This does make me wonder whether or not we should look into transfer fees as a thing for college football. That actually kind of makes sense.
It's happening. It's already happening. Buyout clauses in contracts. It's already happening.
Well, all right.
Like our quarterback transferred out, Mensa, Duke's quarterback transferred out, and it was an amazing outcome for Duke because they got paid, I'm going to forget the numbers, but they got paid half the value of his NIL deal in a transfer fee. I mean, that's what it was. It's the exact same thing as what happens in European soccer. So,
and that was to Miami, right?
Yeah.
God, that inevitable scandal is going to be awesome. We're going to I love Miami because when Florida State and Florida have scandals, it's like normal college football stuff. Like some kid got paid out of a Chick-fil-A bag or they cheated on a test or something. When Miami has scandals, there's like fucking Interpol is involved and there's just all kinds of shit.
Yeah. LATAM's biggest city in the United States does not mess around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that we're just starting from the assumption that Miami will break some rules and probably some laws that, even
absolutely.
though things have significantly relaxed.
Has that ever steered you wrong in the past?
No, it has never steered me wrong. Like whatever is legal in the league, Miami is going to be 45% past that.
Yes.
That's just
Miami is, everybody else is going to do 80 and a 70. Miami is going to do 170 in a 70.
Red lines. Right down 95.
That's right.
All the way to Key Biscayne? Whatever. My Miami geography is failing me.
Well, Coral Gables is where Miami is, so.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Should we wrap it up there for the week, folks?
Yeah, George is training for a marathon and has been visibly fading for the last 5 minutes, so we should probably let the poor man go sleep.
Yeah, Daddy needs an ice bath and 7 hours of sleep before my alarm goes off. Great. Love that for me. That sound you just heard was me hitting the desk. All right. For normal men in Charlotte, I'm George.
In DC, I'm Proctor.
In outer Florida, I'm low-tax speedrun enjoyer.
And in Boston, I'm Ed.
Stay normal, y'all.